This is the race committee. We have completed the wind sampling and this race is live.
So we are good to go for another race in this Challenger Selection Series off the coast of Barcelona in 2024. Identical boats, different experience. Orient Express Racing will come in on the port, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Starboard will be Emirates Team New Zealand, and as we saw in the last race, you can be pinged if you come in early, and that's exactly what happened to American Magic in race 20.
No points at stake, but for Orient Express, a lot of learning and a lot of confidence.
Almost perfect entry by Orient Express Racing, leaving to the last minute second.
Yeah, perfect timing there by the French. Great job there. Emirates Team New Zealand entering, and everybody thinks these two boats look fairly similar. Their eyeballs would be correct. Emirates Team New Zealand selling a design package to the French team, similar to F1 selling packages. The French team opting for the design package and pretty much having an identical package here.
It's pretty soft breeze. Emirates Team New Zealand just staying high, trying to stay out the gas of the French boat.
Here we go now. Body here, first still going, different jump if you can. Head tacking, thoughts on tacking to it? Yeah, that's all. Go full. Yep, 2, 1, and board.
Oh, the French there, off the foils. Very, very light in that bottom corner. Emirates Team New Zealand there. Big power up at the mainsail there. Team New Zealand just keeping the boat on the foils, and really soft there for the French. See the massive camber there on Emirates Team New Zealand, keeping the boat on the foils. So they will do a dip start, and the pressure will be on the French to try and re-accelerate surely to get the boat back up on the foils.
It seems so high risk, that bottom right-hand corner.
Stay off the line, Andy. Yeah, heavy straight still.
Just about judging time and distance for Emirates Team New Zealand.
Turn around it. Yes. Switch. That's still off, so just don't be over. Yep. No, all good.
Lining up the start for the last race of the day. Time on distance to a pinpoint precision, and Emirates Team New Zealand are away. And Orient Express Racing are languishing, trying to get up on their foils.
They have only 6 knots of wind in that bottom corner. Going to take a while.
Boat's needing around sort of 6.5 knots of breeze to accelerate, get up on the foils, and you see the boat speed there of Orient Express Racing. We'll need to see that climb to close to 20 knots in displacement mode to lift that 7-ton carbon fibre structure out of the water with all its crew. Manoeuvre here from Emirates Team New Zealand to keep the boat on the foils themselves.
Forward. That's still not off. That's just 3 NGs. Slightly more pit on that one. Just turn it back right here a lot. Yeah, sure.
The replay here of the tack there by the French, so little delay, and then really needing to power the boat up there, really needing max power on those sails exiting that manoeuvre, and quite flat there initially, and just allowing Emirates Team New Zealand there to get inside and dig their way out of potentially vulnerable position. But the French up and going now, which is a great sign.
Let's head to the water. Chase zero. Peter Lester, thoughts?
Well, obviously downrange, the teams that can foil at 6 knots have a massive advantage, and Emirates Team New Zealand and Luna Rossa have shown that today. And it's all about time on the boat and refinement. And I'm sure Orient will learn that given time, because we know this boat is quick when it's clicked in. But a little bit disappointing for the French in that one. I think they were cherishing having another crack against Emirates Team New Zealand.
Of course, for French fans watching, this is a non-scoring race, which is a real saving grace for the team. But really, they just need to reset, refocus, and learn as much as they can, refine the processes during this race so they come out tomorrow firing.
The big question, though, is for Orient Express Racing, when they get back into point-scoring races, they could be running out of time.
And Emirates Team New Zealand, Stephen, off the foils themselves, so down they go. Can the French stay on the foils? This is a really critical attack for the French if they can stay up. And it looks like they may have been able to keep the boat on the foils, so two sister boats there and a mistake by Emirates Team New Zealand. Possibly we will see a pass here by the French.
And this story takes another turn out of the blue. Mother Nature, what's she up to today?
As we've seen the past couple of days, Mother Nature playing a big part in this round-robin series, and a big job for Emirates Team New Zealand here to actually re-accelerate and pop back up on the foils. The French just ripping bearing there, and gauge all in one. You look at the distance clocking down there. The French just have to keep it ripping here, and we could potentially see a huge overtake, and then the French taking quite a big lead if they can stay on the foil, surely.
It's never over. You can actually see how light it is where the Kiwis are. They only have 5 knots of breeze. Just beginning to sail into a little bit more.
Excavator buckets going hundies, and back on the foils there with Team New Zealand. So now the pressure on the French to execute the manoeuvre, and their boats will almost be bow on bow exiting this next tack if the French can stay foiling.
Emirates Team New Zealand demand so much of themselves. They aim for perfection every time. The debrief, there'll be some wrinkled noses on that one.
It's coming up a little.
Yep, French stay on the foils. Now the decision on the French whether to cross or duck. So this will be the call. Nathan Attridge calling easy cross. So they've got a big lefty out there, and advantage Orient Express Racing. So can they pin their ears back and just send it?
The afternoon just got a lot more interesting.
We have a race. Orient Express Racing. Oh, how they would wish if there was a point-scoring race at this point in time. But they have the lead on the defender, Emirates Team New Zealand, as they hit the top gate. They hit the top gate for the first time in this race, leading the defender through.
I can guarantee there was no sandbagging going on by Emirates Team New Zealand. There'll be a whole lot of people speculating, oh, they've just tried to do that to make the race interesting. I can absolutely guarantee that is not the case. Both boats pushing hard, trying to learn as much as they can in this valuable time on the water.
Emirates Team New Zealand round through the top gate, taking the left-hand mark as we see it. Now they're on the chase. Identical boats. Big brother hunting little brother.
Big jibe there, and it just showing the ghost boat there that the French have actually jibed in a really nice position. What the ghost boat's saying, they will make a big gain over Emirates Team New Zealand if they can carry on the way they're going according to the ghost boat simulation.
Yeah, the ghost boat loving that right-hand side of the screen, the right-hand side of the run.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shortening the course to 1.1 nautical miles.
My French is probably not as good as my daughter's, but talking good pressure and good gains there. So I can understand it, about a fifth of probably what I should be. Yep, sailing into pressure, calling it in. Great comms on board the French boat. And the gains coming there as predicted by the wind map simulator and ghost boat.
Massive difference in the VMGs, look at that.
That wind field just on a day like today, just so accurate and really impressive, showing exactly what's coming down the course there. So wonderful tool that we haven't seen before in the America's Cup or even really in the sport of sailing. So fantastic technology. And the French extending there, sailing into better pressure, and Emirates Team New Zealand in average wind, the same colour wind that you see outside the boundaries, that is average wind. So green, more wind, and the more blue, lighter blue, less wind. So big gains there to the French team. Pressure jibe here for Emirates Team New Zealand in fairly light air, so potentially sailing through a little bit of gas there of the French team. A bit of turbulence off the back of their rig, but they've gone through and bent that air already. So
trying to get these boat speed numbers off a bit. I felt like it felt way too slow. I think it's anything up the course.
Orient Express Racing heading towards the bottom gate.
Orange Express, slow off foil.
No, can you believe what we are seeing in this last race of the day? My goodness, Orient Express Racing are down for the second time in this race. And now it's Emirates Team New Zealand on the hunt, sensing something. They'll crawl through the bottom gate to complete leg number 2.
And the French just need to get round the mark, get to about 90 degrees and rebuild. And you'll see Emirates Team New Zealand, if they can execute this job well, will basically sail straight round Orient Express Racing. So the French have to get round, build the speed and repop. Really interesting decisions here for Team New Zealand. You'll see them just blow right the way around here.
A little soft between us and the
Emirates Team New Zealand will go around Orient Express Racing. How many more curveballs can this race throw at us?
Buffalo Girls around the outside, and that is really painful. The French building there, and they'll have to rebuild again as they now go through the gas of Emirates Team New Zealand. So that's a double penalty. And we've had another lead change in tricky conditions here. So big gas bubble to build speed in there for the French. So really tricky to accelerate when you've just got your gas mask on.
Onto the chase boat, Chase Zero, our hydrogen chase boat with Peter Lester. God, can you believe what you're seeing, Pete? What's happening down at the bottom end of the course?
Well, last time I came on and I had the old commentator's curse, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut now. But it's got quite light and funky, and it's really cellular looking over the course. When the top of the breeze is probably about 7 knots, but the bottom is right down there under 6.
It looks quite dynamic, Pete. The Sea State playing a bit of a part there. Just looking at the mark rounding here of Orient Express Racing and just not being able to keep the boat on the foils there.
Yeah, even though it's been light, Glenn, the sea has got up, and as is always the case here, there's more seaway running than is showing by wind speed, you know, so the net effect is it's just another variable that the crews have to handle and manage to keep the boat on the foils.
Just looking at a replay here of this bottom mark, and Emirates Team New Zealand just around the outside, and then Orient Express Racing just putting the gas mask on, and really tricky to build from there. So another lead change, and Orient Express Racing, you know, their jibe at the bottom there, just jibing a little thin on a marginal lay line, Shirley, and ultimately paid the price. So unfortunate mistake there.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate, shortening the course to 0.9 nautical miles.
Less breeze, shorter course.
Maybe a little bit past the Pete.
It's not going to get any easier.
Pete, what do you have?
Well, it's just got really patchy, and coupled with that is the sea state is up. For me, looking up the course, the left-hand side just seems to have a wee bit more pressure, so that's on the seaward side.
1. Oh, sorry.
Fantastic picture there.
I know the NFL season has just started in America, but we don't want touchdowns here. Touchdowns are not good.
No, touchdowns in our sport are not what you're after.
Should get into slightly more wind.
Well, if you're just joining us, you're wondering if the water of Barcelona is actually turquoise. You might be disappointed. It is a beautiful blue colour, but we have a wind field, a real-time wind field, which is showing us the breeze. Any greenness, good.
Emirates Team New Zealand now with the lead on Orient Express Racing after going behind when they touched down, but a touchdown at that bottom left end has cost Orient Express Racing again. And the defender of the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup will scream around that left-hand mark and head down halfway through the final race of the day, day 6 of the Challenger Selection Series.
Massive push there. You see the cyclist just full noise there.
Yeah, easy. Fun. Got a header and
Straight into a jibe, so not only do you get to do the manoeuvre, you get the joy of then having to power everything up again.
And board. What's your range, do you think, BT? That's it, mate. I think 145, 165. Probably get there in 1 from here for 1. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have much time to look at it, but yeah, I think so. That's good.
That's about the right range, guys.
I mean, Glenn, they are really taking these races seriously, New Zealand. I mean, soon, as you say, there will be Nigel Nomates racing the chase boat. I mean, are you surprised how seriously they've taken it all, how important they are?
I think the importance of race practice absolutely cannot be underestimated, and they've taken the opportunity to join in this round-robin series. Obviously, no points on the table counting for anything going forward, but certainly valuable race experience, and as well as Chris Salthouse and Ray Davies can drive chase boats, it's not quite the same as racing against another AC75, and you certainly learn a lot from debriefing that, and every single moment of time on the water, as we're seeing here with Orient Express Racing. Very, very important minutes and lessons getting around the track.
Orient Express Racing complete the halfway mark. They are struggling. That boat's going close again to going of its foils.
Yeah, just not giving themselves a huge margin, the French, to tack and then build out of the tacks. You know, in this light air racing, it's really, really tricky. You've got to sort of go quite a long way past where the computer will be saying where you should be able to tack in that breeze. You've got to hedge a little bit to allow yourself to build, and very, very light there at the top of the course as well where they are. So, as Pete was saying on the water, very patchy, very shifty, and we've just seen the French team sail into a very, very light patch there, less than 5 knots where they are at the moment. So
Emirates Team New Zealand about to complete leg number 4 as Orient Express Racing struggle at the top of the race course. 2 legs to go for the defender of the America's Cup. Hasn't been a perfect race by anybody's standards for either team.
Easy. 15 seconds and it's an open course.
Nice mark around there, Emirates Team New Zealand.
Go all
very
the way
locked in.
unless you think it's getting soft on the boundary.
Nice little pop here. Yeah, I think Baston 5 is a good lane back through.
Think it's the next one won't be 80.
I think it's just outside, but yeah, all good.
You see the pace of the foils going through the water there in only about 7.5 knots of breeze. So speed, making speed, your apparent wind speed generating.
Right here, but I think it's going to go back. Yep, really nice take.
Time to go on board the chase boat for Emirates Team New Zealand. You're in the lead, Ray, but a far from perfect race so far, right? You guys are hard taskmasters.
Yeah, far from perfect. These conditions are pretty tough. Pretty big holes out here, and yeah, we've got to join the dots, and it's not over till it's over on these conditions, that's for sure.
What are you learning every day you get out there, particularly about other teams that you might have to face?
Well, today we're learning a lot about this type of day, these conditions. It's not your standard breeze round to the right and southerly with it being a steady flow. This is way more left than we'd normally seen. It's way more dynamic. So it makes for pretty interesting calls around the racetrack, and they're not like lasers. You can't just tack on every shift, so you've got to really try think a long way ahead and try to join the dots. But you know, we're getting into it now, and there's a lot of really good comms about the lulls more than anything, and that's the most important thing. Just keep flying.
All right, thanks, mate. We'll talk again.
Yep.
Seeing a slight difference here in both boats too, just for the viewers watching. Emirates Team New Zealand on a slightly smaller jib than Orient Express Racing. So Emirates Team New Zealand opting for a J2, which is not the biggest jib. Orient Express Racing on the J1, which generally means that you have a bit more power on the J1, but a little bit more drag. So upwind, slight advantage if you can stay foiling on the J2, but the J1 just allowing a little more power. So Emirates Team New Zealand there opting for a slightly smaller front sail and faster, but harder to keep the boat on the foil. So you have to execute everything really well, which is fantastic practice for the team, and they'll be learning a lot about how the boat setup is.
We've got a great view of that tack and just how much the sails, particularly the Traveller, is moving. And when we had that double manoeuvre at the top of the course, we just heard that the peak wattage was 1100 through the jibe. And when we've seen before, it's like 200 or 300, occasionally 400. That is off the scale. Back-to-back manoeuvres, you're asking a lot.
Yeah, I think Cam Webster, Dougal Allen with Louis Crosby, and certainly Simon van Veldhoven, the Rhino. He can push some pedals, old Simon, and a fantastic member of the team, joining Emirates Team New Zealand early on in the America's Cup over in Bermuda. First of the cycles for Emirates Team New Zealand.
Emirates Team New Zealand will one final tack into the top gate for the final time. They'll take that right-hand mark, as you said, and head down on the final leg. You talk about Simon van Veldhoven, a Kieran cyclist in his previous life and an Olympic cyclist. They called him the Rhino because he was just used to bash people out of the way in the Japanese professional leagues and get out of my way, I'm coming. He's got thighs the size of what we call kauri trees in New Zealand, one of the oldest trees in the world, and they're big. So is the Rhino.
He's certainly got a powerful differential, old Simon. He uses that to great advantage, particularly when you've got to pump oil around on these AC75s, as do the rest of the guys. And super solid lineup there of power team. Kim, the trainer of the team, absolutely doing a brilliant job there, and there will be no shortage of wattage in the future for the team going forward. So massively cambered sails there, just to keep the boat on the foils, and a big push by the guys.
So Emirates Team New Zealand heading towards home. The question is, what's going on with Orient Express Racing? And I don't think a lot is going on.
Making pretty good VMG down, but yeah.
Very, very light air on the course now, and you see the cycles on both sides. They'll be settling in now for this downwind. The big pushes are in the manoeuvres and the mark roundings, and it's almost a recovery zone in any straight line period. So they'll still be putting in plenty of power, but won't be at their max. Andy Maloney and Blair Chuk there flying the boat.
Patience. Yeah,
Good comms there on the patience, just holding that windward foil in, not raising it too early and rolling the boat to windward, making sure you've got the aero load, balancing the foil load to get that windward foil out of the water. So a real juggling act there in these light conditions to keep the boat on a knife edge.
Right now, it's pretty glassy on the jibe.
I'd say in about 15 to 20 it starts to look better. Underneath. Much entry speed as you got. Easily. Copy. Start charging on this one.
See the hydrogen chase boat there in the background. That's our camera boat with Peter Lester on board. Fantastic camera operator and boat driver as well. And
all the way is okay for me.
It's probably the only boat that can keep up with the AC-75s these days in waves. So some fantastic shots there from Chase Zero.
Emirates Team New Zealand are on the final leg, and Orient Express Racing, Pete, what's going on with them?
Well, Orient are still trying to get out of the water, but I've had the privilege this time to come all the way down this downwind behind Emirates Team New Zealand. And as they go through their manoeuvres, it's interesting when you're only, a few boat lengths behind them, to look at the sequencing as they go through the jibes, the coordination with changing, the rotation of the mast, the traveller control, and really the comms coming off the boat, how rehearsed it all seems.
Emirates Team New Zealand are coming home. They can see the finish line. They're going to lap Orient Express Racing in this final race of the day. The debrief on this one is going to be a long one for Orient Express Racing. They can just thank themselves that it wasn't a points-scoring race. But Emirates Team New Zealand will get the job done again on the last day of the racing in day number 6 of the Louis Vuitton Cup Challenger Selection Series. And the defender gets another W and more practice under the belt, because that's exactly what they need.
I'm just coasting. Yeah, so I just want to get a little higher.
The cyclors will be very, very happy to get across that finish line on a day like today. A slightly smaller jib. It's a huge range of gears you've got to go through the gearbox there, and hats off to all the cyclors today on a light, puffy, shifty day. Fantastic effort from all teams to push these boats around the track hard. So definitely not an easy job, but something they train hard for and absolutely love. So they love hurting themselves, those guys. So like us all poking ourselves in the eye and punching ourselves in the head for 2.5 hours, which sometimes is what it feels like here, Stephen, in the commentary booth on a light air day. But fun and games for everybody. We're having a good time as long as they are too. So.